GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
GUVI, a vernacular edutech brand, skilling everyone everywhere.
Hi Sandeep, welcome to Chennai.
Hi.
You're here for the Galata Golden Star Awards.
Yes.
Tell me, what are your thoughts on awards? I mean, do you value them? Do you keep them in a special stand and say, okay, I've achieved this much, or what do awards mean to you?
Because right from the growing age, when we see awards and all, we used to have a very different opinion about awards. But after that, after a while, you hear stories about awards, how you get them and what you do
Right.
to get them and all that. Keeping all that aside, and at one point, you feel like there will be some 10, 15 jury people who will be thinking you are the best director, best actor. But more than that, I feel box office is a big award. And there was a stage where I felt like, okay, I'll take it easy. But after a while, I felt it's not only me and it's not only one actor or, it's about so many people who worked on Animal. It gives a nice feeling to them also, and go and collect awards. So more than me, I feel like, the film is being represented.
Your film, whether it's Animal or Arjun Ready or whatever it is.
Yeah, I feel for more than me, I feel like it's for the film I'm coming and picking the award. So, yeah.
So that feels
For the
good.
collective effort, Yeah.
Right. After RRR and Natu Natu brought in India's first
Okay, those awards are different. Okay.
homegrown
Okay.
awards, right? It's
Okay,
like the
right.
first Indian production to bring in an Oscar.
Yeah.
Would that be something in your
Oh,
dreams?
that's an achievement. I was
that's-
talking about Indian awards.
Right.
That way, it's an achievement because the now they know more about Rajamouli sir. I mean to talk about the international crowd. So now the release will be like, Oscar award, winner, music director, or the maker. When it goes to a different places also. For again, it's Telugu cinema is reaching to places where more than what it has usually it used to reach. So it's more reach now, more recognition. So that way, it is superb. I mean, like you never know with Mahesh Babu sir's film, what is going to happen.
Do you see yourself as like you just said, Telugu cinema director?
Me? See that subconsciously, yeah, I'm a Telugu film director, but for me, I always feel there is no language for the film to reach. So, but coming from Telugu land, so I feel I'm a Telugu director, but when you write and work with other language actors also, it makes it feel like you're majorly working on a cinema.
Right.
On a film. So it doesn't get any language barrier there in one environment as a set, as a working environment. But when you address yourself, your mother tongue is Telugu, so my mother tongue is Telugu, so that way
You're
I identify myself as Telugu.
Sure.
Actor,
No, that way you are. What I meant is, see, when you were making Arjun Reddy, it was a Telugu film, and obviously you're thinking in Telugu, you're writing in Telugu, the culture, the ethos, everything is you're creating a Telugu world, right? But when you're doing Animal, you're doing it as a Hindi film.
Yes.
You're conceiving it as a Telugu film and then translating it into Hindi.
It's considered as a Hindi film.
Okay. So that way, like I'm thinking like a Hindi film director would, because there are some differences.
I'll tell you, because for Arjun to Kabir, it's almost a true translation.
Right.
So for that, you need to think that now, okay, now this scene worked like this in Bangalore. Now this scene has to work like this in Delhi. So it's a very clear thought, no matter it's a remake. But when it comes to Animal, the day one when I narrated Ranbir loved it. So I knew I wanted to attach a Punjabi angle to it, Punjabi background, not an angle, but the ancestors are from Punjab. So when you have a thick background like that, so I don't think so. I think few scenes in Telugu and translate into Hindi. So you start thinking about a Punjabi guy who studied in America comes back to India. But if it is a neutral character, maybe for another film, maybe I don't know how that will fluctuate from Telugu to Hindi. But for Animal, it was never how it will be in Telugu. But there will be some places in the screenplay where in the dialogue or you get stuck. Sometimes you feel, what if I write this dialogue in Telugu and then try to translate it and see, and it's never a thinking like, okay, I'll go this way.
Right.
It will change. So
Right. But what I mean is, when you know that Animal is also going to get released in Telugu,
Yes.
simply because of the market.
Yes.
Was there in the back of your mind somewhere, some point that was thinking, oh my God, I have so many of these Punjabi characters, Sikh characters in my movie. Will that translate into this milieu? Was that thought in your mind?
No, that was never there. But there is always a different regional people meeting when it comes to Geetanjali and Ranvijay.
Sure.
So I thought like, let's make it Telugu then. instead of Marathi or Konkani or Tulu. So I thought let's make it Telugu. It will be more appealing for even Tamil people.
Yeah.
You know? So that was a little because most of the Brahmin community, Reddy community, I've seen people, a lot of community people, settle down in Delhi. Like now they're a third generation people. So that way there's a background for Delhi where you see Telugus also, you see Tamils also a lot. So specifically I also picked, Brahmin or Reddy or whatever community. Based on that, you feel it's very realistic while you're writing. You feel like you know them.
Yeah.
Rather than suddenly creating like a Goan Catholic in Delhi, where you will not find them
Right.
comparatively to a South Indian like Tamilian or Telugu.
Right. So, how long did it take for you to write Arjun Reddy? How long did it take for you to write Animal?
See, Arjun Reddy, you don't know whether it's going to happen. You don't know whether somebody's going to put money or, but I was very aware that I want this film to be my first film. So after you try and meet people when nothing is happening for a long time, the confidence of that you're going to make this film for sure will be fluctuating thought.
Right.
So in that fluctuation, you tend to take your sweet time in writing. So I think I wrote Arjun Reddy in a very sweet, space. I think I took 1.5 years. Yeah. So
1.5 years of.
1.5 years of thought about Arjun Reddy. I didn't think about any other story.
So, in those 1.5 years, were you just thinking or were you writing?
I was writing, sometimes I was deleting what I wrote, sometimes I don't write. It's because the time period of writing is not like a school. Like,
Yeah.
you're getting 9 months, you go to school, your one grade is done. It is really tough till then you are on the set that you're making your first film.
Right.
So the process of writing will be, I feel it will be more organic, I feel.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you write a weird scene. So you don't know whether it will be commissioned or not. So I think maybe the ice scene is like that, because I thought it's the right scene to picturize. So that way, coming to the point, I took 1.5 years in writing, and the process was I was not continuously writing. It was I felt more than writing to be in the mood of the character continuously. You are in the mood of that character and you go watch Avatar or any other film. Still, your head is in that space only. So I feel being in that headspace is more important than typing something.
Right.
I think that makes you dwell deep into the characterization. I think that's what happened with Arjun Reddy, and Kabir was a remake, and pandemic happened, and even I think Animal also I took like 1.5 years. I took a lot of time to write because right after Arjun Reddy started Kabir, and during the Kabir also the thought of Animal was there.
Right.
I never thought about any other story, but in the pandemic we got breaks. We got so many breaks. So in between one of the break, I was offered another film from Prabhas Garu. So it didn't materialize.
This was before Animal.
Before Animal, yeah. So I said like, if anything original strikes, I'll come and tell you the idea. Then we'll take
This
it.
idea came from him, from Prabhas.
No. This I said like we got a Hollywood remake.
Okay.
We said like he asked me we should do, if at all you're interested. There's a Hollywood remake. Let's do it. I said like it's not working for me, the Hollywood remake. I think like a original thought will be great on you rather than doing a Hollywood remake. And then I said, Anna, if at all something great strikes to me, and I'll come and narrate. Then I was already in the process of writing Animal. And pandemic, so many breaks happened. Suddenly something literally struck. Then I called and I met and told him that this is the title, this is what the arena of the story, this is the character. He said like, that's it, let's do it.
This is
This is spirit.
Spirit. Okay.
Yeah, this just happened for the particular time period I was in that mood, and I got back to animal writing. I went to Bombay and finished Animal. I came back. Now again, I'm in the writing process of what, I narrated him like 2.5 years back. So
Wow. So, how are you able to retain that essence of what you had at that point
yeah.
after not just this point of time, but also after going through that entire Animal writing?
Yes,
Is that still there? Do you have notes, or how do you
I
do you have
I
a
have
great
audio
memory?
notes. Me and my brother have one common group, and me and my wife have one common group. Two different groups, two different people. So I keep sending ideas on that. Sometimes I type, I email it to myself. So, but I feel the more than all this, what what holds you is the character power. When you think about that guy in spirit, it will. I think that draws me more than a plot. A character will attract me so much. I think like within no time I can shift into that. That's what I feel.
But I feel that's true in your films, right? In both your films, or rather, okay, three films or two films. I don't know how you call it, but it's the character that drives the plot.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
the plot that drives the character.
Yeah.
So that's like there's a very you've been very consistent with that. I mean, in this also, I'm assuming you're going to
Yeah.
because all we know is Prabhas 25th film. He's
Yeah.
playing an honest police officer.
Yes,
Is
yes.
what has come out.
Yes.
So I think that's what we know about the film.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is the character that's hopefully going to
Yeah.
drive.
Even I know that much only. So yeah, because I didn't finish yet, so I'll finish it soon. So writing,
How far ahead are you?
I'm 60% through. Yeah.
Okay, are you writing this for towards a deadline?
This actually deadline in the sense I have to start the film.
When?
December I have to start.
You have to start
Yeah.
December 2024.
November, December I have to start.
Okay.
Start shooting.
So which means for the first time in your life,
Yeah.
Arjun Reddy, you had lots of time because that was your first film.
Yes.
Animal pandemic happened, you had a lot of time.
Yeah.
So this is the first time
Yeah.
you are actually writing towards a very strict deadline.
Yeah, I'll
Because
be,
if
I'll
you're
be a little
good-
faster because the thought came almost 2.5 3 years back. So I think that has happened. Some marination level has happened. So let's see. Yeah, but compared to both, this will be a faster process.
Yeah, because if you're going to start in December,
Yeah.
you have to do some pre-production, allot some
Yes,
time
yes,
to that. So, so you'll have to finish the script in fairly soon.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I want to know when you wrote Arjun Reddy, you knew that you did not know who was going to be in it.
Yes.
That was a new thing, right? It's like a thing. How does writing a script, not knowing who an actor is, how is that different from writing a script knowing that I'm writing this for Prabhas, I'm writing this for Ranveer? How does that differ?
I think when you don't know, it process different, and when you know, somewhere very involuntarily the writing, you know, goes into the grip of the actor because you have seen their work, so you know what they can do best. So I feel few episodes, you know, you root it for them. Like it's like a few scenes you write for the gallery, like few things you write for the actor.
Like, give
It
me an
is a,
example of an animal scene that you wrote for Ranveer.
you know, that explanation scene of alpha beta,
Uh,
the kind of gaze he was giving and talking, and the way he was explaining, because usually he's such a great actor, so no matter it's a lengthy scene, you know, he'll take pauses and he'll talk, yet it will be interesting. So that courage came from his acting capabilities. So usually if it is 2 paragraphs, I went to 4 paragraphs because knowing that it's Ranbir. So it's, you know, and few things when you focus on the eyes, if you want to do it for 30 seconds, you do it for 1 minute on Ranbir. So it depends. Few people it's different because I didn't know he was great in action, or else I would have done that also more because
more, you have a half an hour.
no more. This is not in the length.
Right.
I mean to say the
Yeah.
the brutality.
Brutality.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what is it about Prabhas that? What are the things about him that grab you? Like when you see Prabhas on screen, what is it that draws your attention? What are the qualities in him as an actor?
I feel strongly uh, if something goes wrong, the fear of reaction. How is he going to react on this? I can hold that for a while.
If something goes wrong to the character that Prabhas is playing,
Yeah, playing or somebody who's close to him, something goes wrong to his duty or his job or something hurts him, and how is he going to react? That I think I can play for a long time because audience want only that
right?
in particular scene. They want him to see react. So the waiting point for the reactions can be played to the gallery very well. You know,
Okay, that's interesting. Is that coming from something
his
he
previous
does,
work.
something that he does like because of his eyes or something like that?
Yeah, his eyes, his persona, you know, he has his. I feel he has a very unique way of turning around and looking at people. So those are, you know, commercial cinema heroes. moments, great moments you have in every star.
Right.
So that will be somewhere. I'll not use it in a very regular way, but I feel the kind of character I wrote, the kind of fan following he has, the kind of persona he has, I feel that will be a great match.
See, for example, Arjun Reddy, Animal are both commercial mainstream films that play with masala storytelling, right? But they both, I won't call them mass movies exactly because they are masala in a different form.
Yeah.
But with a star as mega as Prabhas, is Sandeep Reddy Vanga going to enter the mass zone for the first time? Like, are you going to have those flying fights and like
I don't know. I never thought about those flying fights actually.
okay.
But let's see. Even I want to explore and see.
Right, but you're not averse to that zone.
No, but I see the flying things, and sometimes when you see the feet, you see that dust. I'll not do that.
Okay.
There are a few things I don't want to do, and
But
other things I'll see how it works. Yeah.
right, but will you do that other thing where the hero first you see the hand and then you see the feet and then you see the first time you see the hero and then you see him part by part and then finally you see the face. That reveal is something that will you play with that? It's kind of a
I don't know. That is boring. I think now. I think that idea is used so many times, million times. I
Right,
don't think so. I can do that.
But tell me, how do you see? Obviously, we've all grown up with movies, Indian movies, so we have some kind of pulse on the audience. Because even as a critic, sometimes when I see a movie, I know this movie is not going to do well, or
Yeah,
sometimes you know that some instinct is there in you, right?
Yeah.
So when you use a star, how much percentage of obviously not like a regular like an approximate thing, how much percentage of the star can you really play with? Because a lot of people are coming to see Prabhas in an action movie. That means you have to give them that Prabhas doing action stuff. But then you are also a very different kind of director who thinks in a very, and I mean this in a good way, eccentric manner. So how much of eccentricity of or your brand of screenwriting especially can you infuse into a megastar like Prabhas? That's an interesting question for me. Like
Because I think that's the whole idea for Prabhas Garu to accept the story.
okay,
Because he felt this is so different characterization and this different journey. I feel I should just go with whatever you're visualizing. This is what that I think that's what actually brought him into the story. I think let's see
that's yeah.
because if I think if I say Anna, you'll turn around and people are running away. I think like he'll hate me. He'll say because I'm sure we both are not seeing that.
Right.
So what you said, I think we're going to reach there. Hopefully, yeah.
Now, how do you deal with the two sets of expectations, Sandeep? One is it is Prabhas's 25th film, and these numbers, these special numbers, always, people look forward to that a little more than they expect that to be a little special. Plus, now you've had three blockbusters in a row, so there's going to be an expectation on this from your side as well. How much of this pressure are you carrying inside your head while you're writing Spirit?
Frankly, I'm not thinking about that. Genuinely, I'm not because I never thought about that for Animal also because I'm actually worried about uh, what I'm writing, how it is going to be executed, and the way I'm visualizing, whether I'm going to achieve it on screen. That is, I think, the most painful process is what you write and what you achieve. Rest all will fall in place if the material is correct.
Right.
This pressure and all, if you take pressure, you'll do the same thing what you did in the previous film, I think, because to meet to the whatever, and it will not work again.
So the best way to deal with pressure is to not think about the pressure.
Yeah, because I think that's very made up thing to think about the pressure, because the pressure is that there's a lot of money riding on this film now, because it's a heavy budget film than compared to Animal and Kabir and Arjun. So that is there that producer is going to put 300 plus. So whether he's going to recover that money, that's one thing I always look into. Because producer should make money, then we can make another film. And second thing is like the same thing, like now I'm visualizing in one particular way. All the while, 24 films, people have seen him in a very different roles. So if this match is going to work, then rest will all work. If the actor is getting the character right and I am feeling it's going right, then that's it, done.
Right.
Rest is like we'll see like how much percent of people will love or hate.
Right. Now, is 300 plus crores for a movie with a big star and a big director, is that a viable budget today in Telugu cinema?
Oh, it depends. It depends on the star. I think for Prabhas Garu, it's a valid budget.
It's a valid budget.
Yeah.
What is in general in let's say Telugu cinema, what is a reasonable safe budget, would you say?
No, we can't say because
Like for a mid-level movie.
it depends on the actor, depends on the director who's catering, and sometimes
Of course,
yeah,
depends on the story, scenario, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But I'm saying, what would be given the audiences, the numbers of audiences that go to theaters today, if I make a movie in this crores, there's a good chance that I'm going to be safe. What is that number?
if it is newcomers, everybody are new. If it is everybody are new and you know there's a material to grab audience with the teaser and trailer, and I think 4 CR is safe
Okay.
because you have satellite digital now. Because I'm I met Arjun Reddy in 240, I think 238, 240, 2 crore 40 lakhs or 2 crore 38 lakhs somewhere.
Right.
So this actually, Pelichubul was made in 65 lakhs.
Yeah.
So that way, nobody can say how much is a safer budget.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
but
the reason I ask this question is
Yeah.
because in all languages we are hearing about these mega budgets, right? Like Kalki is coming out with a mega budget. Your Spirit is coming out in a mega budget. Indian 2, Game Changer, these are all mega budget films. Hindi, you're hearing about, a possible Ramayana or something like that. That's going to be a mega budget film. So the budgets are clearly, people are willing to put in money on big projects today. Is it because they think that these are the kinds of movies that will draw people to theaters more likely than, let's say, a smaller kind of scale movie?
yeah, they must be, definitely they must be thinking that 100%.
Yeah.
Or else why would
No,
they put
I'm
that
saying,
kind
or are they thinking if I split it off, OTT is going to give me this much, so this
That is there. That calculation is always there. And whatever films you mentioned, actually Spirit is a reasonable budget compared to all the films you have mentioned. Yeah, that is definitely there. Satellite, digital, music, and after that theatrical.
Right.
And for Telugu and even Tamil, especially Indian films, overseas market is like another territory now.
Yeah.
Bigger territory, especially US separate territory. So that way, that calculation is always there. That calculation is, that's a right mix of economics and, creativity, art. So,
Right. Again, coming back to your writing, just like you said, you don't think about the pressure.
yeah.
Don't you think about the economics as well?
Yeah, because I'll tell you, if the
You
kind of
think or don't think?
I think because the kind of budget what you're putting, I feel we are safe. I feel the producer is safe because Prabhas on a combination, my combination. I think it is satellite, digital, everything. Like we're going to recover our budgets there itself. I think
Right.
almost pretty much. If everything goes well with the teaser, trailer, songs, whatever in the pre-release due, and whatever we do to grab the audience and poster and everything goes well, opening day would be 150 CR.
That's
That,
that's
that,
a lot
that's
of confidence.
That's a trade calculation because that's how the trade they calculate.
Right.
So
And is this going to be like a pan-Indian thing?
yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying pan-India 150?
Yeah, easily it should be. It should be, yeah. It should be worldwide or pan India. I don't know the calculation, but 150 CR on one day for a film is like, if the material is good, then done deal. Like it will,
right.
yeah.
Are you writing Spirit with a clear head? Has all the angst that you had post Animal, has that all gone away? Has that evaporated after your Tirupati visit and all
No,
that?
no, I don't know why you feel that, but
No, because I saw a whole bunch of interviews that you gave where you were kind of.
that's what I'm saying, sir. Like what I'm saying is like you're throwing bouncers. I'm trying to play defense. My point is you're throwing a ball. You don't want to play defense because मेरा मुंह तोड़ जाएगा if I don't play.
But I'm not throwing bouncers.
No, I'm just saying, not about you.
Yeah.
You're saying that my angst you see in particular different interviews because I feel, it's. I told in one of the interview, you should be glad that I'm not throwing the ball. I'm just playing a defense. So,
Oh,
because
so you mean people provoke you?
yeah, that's what. See, whoever I replied till now, they always provoked or they said something. I never provoked or like I never said anything about you. I never said anything about so many other people also because I'm not saying that I get provoked also, but I felt for few people you need to give a reply because I don't know, man. I mean, like nobody. See, everybody are trying to throw a stone and everybody are trying to keep quiet. I feel it's weakness at one point. How many days will keep quiet?
Right.
For few people, at least you have to answer back. Not for everybody, but few people like is you know whom we're talking. Let's not take names again. Again, that will be the meme again after that.
Right. Now, just like you had spirit, like the essence of spirit in while you were writing Animal, do you have the essence of Animal Park while you're writing Spirit? Are you kind of thinking about that as well?
I don't know. Maybe sometimes I think sometimes because I watched Animal like recently again with my cousins, so I got a different idea by the time I reached climax, which I never had. So like that, maybe I had a particular idea for part two, but it is not very deep like how Animal is. It will take time for me to write. So for any part two to be worked, part one should work. So
Right now, you're 100% thinking about Spirit only.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
100%, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I can't think anything else, yeah.
Right. How many hours a day do you write?
1 hour, 1.5 hour.
That's it.
That's it, yeah.
Okay. That's
More-
the writing part. The rest
that's
is the
that,
thinking part.
That's sometimes you suddenly you get a thought and you write for half an hour, 1 hour, and you take a printout or like you save it and that's it.
And
I don't think so. We can sit and write continuously, yeah.
no, there are people like who say
There are
they
there,
write for
there are
8 hours and
professional
all that.
writers,
Yeah.
They are professional writers. You come and give them an idea, they'll write up for your idea. I'm not like that. I write for myself, for my film. I can't write for somebody. So I'm not a professional writer for somebody else. So you tell me a line, I'll give you a screenplay. I can't do that.
But
That
can
is
you
a
do
real
the
writer.
reverse? Supposing you give a line, can you give the screenplay to somebody else?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So yeah, somebody gives me a line, I can give the screenplay to them. I never tried.
No. I'm saying, what if you have a line and you
Yeah.
employ an external screenplay writer
Yeah.
for your movie?
Yeah, I never tried. I should try. Actually, I should
You're
try.
open to that.
I'm open to that. If somebody gives me a script and you narrate me and I read it and it's ready, if I go to the shooting in 3 months, that's the happiest thing. I mean, like at least I can come out with every 14 months. I can come with one film.
Right.
Now it takes almost 2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
I can save a lot of time if something happens like that.
So,
But I don't know with that kind of a clear detail anybody is writing. Because plain writing as a writer will be different. To interpret and all, again, it will take time. And I don't know how the sensibilities will be. Sometimes, because I never read anybody's script actually, it's hard for me to comment also. But when I hear, because I want to produce films, so I heard a couple of stories. I didn't like it. So then I was thinking, like imagine if the same story is coming for me to direct. Then I was saying, oh, no way it's happening. So maybe a day will come where I'll depend on writers, but as of now, I want to write. Yeah.
what is it that strikes you when you say, okay, this looks like something that I would direct?
The idea has to be so great that whatever I'm thinking and marinating should throw in a bin. It's like, this is all waste. You should really feel that this is a greater idea.
Okay.
I think that's the only thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If the idea is good and the characterization is something that you can build on, then that's something that'll.
It depends, sir. It depends because I never heard any story for my making.
Yeah.
I heard stories to just produce a few films, but it didn't happen as of now.
Right.
So, but I never heard that. Tell me a story I want to direct.
Okay, I'll give you the example of two Telugu films.
Yeah.
Both of them are hits.
Yeah. Okay.
And both of them are kind of slightly twisted love stories.
Okay.
Uppena
Okay.
and Baby.
Okay.
Would with this zone, if somebody gave you a script, would you be open to?
More than Baby, I would have gone for Uppena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that drew you to that movie?
That's a very, very unique story. If somebody offered me Mahanti, I would have directed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mahanati.
Yes.
Okay, I can't see you directing Mahanati for some reason.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to do a biopic sometime. But as of now, I'm filled with what I'm doing. But
Okay.
when I was watching Mahanati, I felt that
That
मुझे आना चाहिए था ये chance करके. I felt that. Yeah.
because of Savitri Garu's
Yeah, because
her life.
obviously,
Yeah.
her life, her melancholy life, I thought like I would have painted differently.
Right.
I'm not saying Mahanati is
You really like sadness.
maybe. I loved Mahanati, but I thought like मुझे आना चाहिए था ये opportunity.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Biopic of somebody that you'd like to direct. Who would that be? We've already established Savitri Garu. Somebody else.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yes, but who will play? The question is who will be the actor?
You would do a Michael Jackson story in India.
No, we can. If you get an actor, you can pitch it to Hollywood, right? You can make it in English.
Again, because troubled life, sad
It's a
life.
very interesting life, no?
Okay.
Michael Jackson life. Right from his childhood when he's singing in school, high school, primary school, and how he changed his skin color and all that. What have we been through? It's a great journey, great story. But who will play?
Yeah.
Who is the actor? So that's the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson will be like
a Michael Jackson biopic directed by Sandeep Reddy
no,
Vanga.
that will be a dream. That will be a dream. But I'm saying like that will be everybody are going to buy the ticket. I mean, like whoever directs it, I'm going to buy the ticket and watch because I want to know.
Right.
So
no, but I think those things become tricky because of the sexual abuse allegations and things like that. I think that's
that angle becomes tricky, and you never know what is the right side and the wrong
right.
side.
Yeah.
Something got proved. We really don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't following, but I think it was that bizarre thing. I think becomes a little difficult to kind of get into that. So, anyway, finally, Sandeep, you've got to go to the awards now. So, if I want to become a screenwriter, anybody wants to become a screenwriter, mainstream screenwriter.
Okay.
What are some of the books you'd like me to read, or what are some of the movies that you'd like me to watch for their screenplay?
See, the first day of the film school, I was taught that whether you want to follow screenplay book or you don't want to follow. I'm a very lazy guy. I can't read. I fell off to sleep, so I thought I'll not read because all books are written based on the films only. So no formula is created, and after that, film is created. So I believe watching films is a great idea than reading. That's what I did.
Okay.
I don't know how it will work for other people, but there's so many great films to watch, rewatch, understand. Watch in mute sometimes.
What are some of the things that you watch?
So many films. I mean, One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf, The Rare Window. Recently, I revisited that film. And Godfather, Goodfellas, and Fight Club, recent films. There's so many films. Like it. You asked me in the last time interview also, but if I want, I can list out some 50 to 70 films which are like, time pe yaad nahi aa raha,
Tell me the Indian ones.
Indian ones, Maya Bazaar, Dhanayana Shurakarna, Nayakudu, I mean Nayakan, and Swayam Krushi. Recently, there are so many like Bahubali, and I loved Manam. You saw Manam?
Somehow that film didn't quite work for me.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really loved it because you put that idea on the paper.
No, I love the idea of the three generations
generally, if you put the idea on the paper and show it to your producer, it's like, what nonsense. But when you see, you're like, what is happening? I saw it like 3 times.
No, maybe there is also a cultural connect.
Yeah, cultural connect, could be the reason,
Right, because I have,
Yeah.
because for Telugus it's like a greater thing. I don't know, but generally that movie didn't. But tell me, like when you're looking at a wholesome movie like Manam or Maya Bazaar, what is it about the screenplay that appeals to you? Because from what I see, the other movies I can understand because you're interested in pushing characters, those kinds of things, right? It's because you like doing something different. But those are fairly like clean, nice, sweet characters.
Yeah.
Like how.
No, I loved. That's what I'm saying. See, I have, time pe yaad nahi aa raha, but I loved a lot of other films also. I can't recollect.
Right. No, but you're saying that I watched them like an audience and I like them.
Yes. Yeah. I was zapped when I was watching Manam. What an idea! Because in the poster, if you see, A.N.R. Garu is sitting down. He was like a grandson. Nagarjuna sir was like a father, and Chaitanya was a grandfather. I felt like, what a smart poster.
Right.
He told the story in the poster, but nobody, they thought like maybe some, maybe visually it is looking good, maybe they clicked it. But when you see the story and think about the poster, I was like, fantastic. It was superb for me.
Right. And finally, any Tamil films that have grabbed your attention?
So many Tamil films.
Like recent ones.
Vada Chennai I loved. Karna I loved.
Okay.
Vinay Thandi Variva, it's a long time, 10 years, more than 10 years, right? And all Gowtham films, I love Gowtham films.
Okay.
You name few, what
No, I'm just like...
I saw Vikram.
Ah.
I loved Vikram.
Ah.
And I'm waiting for, yesterday I saw the teaser, Rajni sir's teaser with Lokesh is doing it. That one I want to watch. So, yeah.
Right. So...
There's a lot of Tamil influence, I mean to say Tamil films, because I'm feeling bad that I'm not able to, spell out or list out all the films, because we used to watch a lot of Tamil dubbing films. For example, Idayam, Hrudayam, was a 100-day film in Warangal. I was in 4th standard, I think.
The Murali and Hira.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I can see why that will work in Telugu.
Yeah.
Those work in that
Okay.
southern milieu, they work very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that, Captain Prabhakar, City Police, Commando. So all the dubbing films which used to release, I used to watch. So, and this one, Ajit Sir's film, Ullasam.
Ah.
And Prema Lekha. You know that love story, they write letters. They meet in the railway station finally.
Oh, Kadal Kote. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's called Prema Lekha in Telugu. It's also...
That's Ajit and Devyani, right?
Yes, it's a 100-day film. So, like that, I've saw a lot of films. I was a movie buff actually. I was watching every film.
Which is what is showing right now. So anyway, thank you so much, Sandeep, and
Yes.
hope you have a good time at the awards.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
GUVI, a vernacular edutech brand, skilling everyone everywhere.